Hey guys, so you know how I was saying I might be able to get the peppers in yesterday too? No, there was a reason I set the time limit at 10 minutes, right? That's the amount I can work without exhausting myself. As soon as my adrenaline from planting the potatoes wore down, I realized, oh yes, okay, no, I really do need to stop for the day. So my family planted the 2 pepper plants and the yellow marigolds, and I'll show you those in a little bit. But I thought for my time today, we'll get these tomatoes in. And so I have these 3 T-posts here, these guys, and so I'm going to put a tomato seedling at the base of each one and then figure out where to stick the marigolds and basil. They're going to be in the same bed. Okay, get the hose out of the way here. And then set my time. There we go. And there is a lot of Bermuda grass that started to take over this bed, so I will have to come and pull this out later. I'll just get the part that's in the way of planting right now. The tomatoes are tough. They'll be okay. I once worked on a farm where there was a volunteer tomato growing in the compost pile, and it got run over by the tractor once. It lost all of its leaves to caterpillars, to the hornworm, and it still ended up making all its leaves back and making a full crop of tomatoes at the end of the season. So I know it was in the compost pile, so it had like all the nutrition ever, but still, that's really impressive. And so I have a lot of respect for tomatoes. They are very, very tough little plants. So I'm not too worried about a little bit of Bermuda grass in here with them. Although, there is more of it than I thought. This is not supposed to be a weeding video, but I guess part of it is going to be. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see how deep that is and pull this guy out because he's a little close to the hole, because I don't want to disrupt the tomato roots very much when I weed, if possible. It's the ones that are right next to it I'd like to take out. Maybe. A trowel would be better for that, probably. Yep, calling that good. Lost the gumption for that part. Alright. So let's see, I have a black creme, which is like a slicer tomato, you know, like the normal, whoopsies, good thing they're tough, the normal, like that size. And then I have a sun gold, little orange cherry. And then I have a red pear. And so I think my 2 cherry type, like the pear and the cherry, will go on the ends because they're a lot bushier than the slicer is going to be. And so that kind of lets them, they can sprawl to the side a little bit if they want to. So now tomatoes, if you don't know, can be buried quite deep. And so all I do is snip off these little extra bits of leaves and stem, and then I can plant it all the way up to here, as long as I don't bury one of where the stems meet, because then it can get sick. And that's not root bound, so you don't really have to loosen too much there. Pull some of that out. There we go. That should be a happy little tomato. And I will water these in when I'm done. I didn't show that yesterday, but I watered those in yesterday as well. Alright, to help the soil settle around the roots, so there's no, like, you know, gaping holes around them, and the roots can keep getting their oxygen. Alright, so I'm going to scoot over here. Okay, there is a little bit of Bermuda grass I'm going to have to take out right here. Hopefully just a little. That's a fennel root, that one can stay. Usually I wear gloves to pull the Bermuda grass out because I've cut my fingers a lot of times on it. The roots can get kind of sharp, but that's okay. Oh, I pulled a fennel root, it smells so good. It smells like licorice. Alright, so I think that's pretty good there. This one I'm not going to be able to bury as deep because the fennel roots are all right here. But it's kind of a little short guy anyway. Oh, that's the black crumb. No, wait, that's right. He does go in the middle. Alright, so for him, I'm going to break off just a few of these because he's already got so little top. There we go. And the roots look good there too. There we go. That's pretty good. And I will make him a little barrier right here with some of this dirt. Put it on the side so that his water doesn't all rush away down to the side here. There we go. And that one can get his sign. I always forget where I put them. Like, there's only 3 varieties. I should not forget where they are, but I don't know. Alright, so then get my last guy here. I'll move you again. Okay. This is where I grew my zucchini last year. I don't know if some of the roots are still in there or not. There's something down there. Oh, just wood. Never mind. I always dig the hole just a little bit bigger than I need to, and then put a tiny bit of loose soil right in the bottom. It's gonna give it like a nice little bed. Oh, wait, trim. That's probably good. I can take this one off, but I don't think I can get the hole that deep anyway, so just leave it. And this one was starting to circle, so I'm gonna just free it up just a little bit there. There we go. Another piece of wood. That's pretty good for that one. Okay. That's my sun gold. And then I'm gonna do the basil next. Okay, and I'm kind of running low on time here, so try to get this basil in real quick. And there's definitely more crabgrass over here. This is annoying. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, since that says sorry, it's so hard to only do this for 10 minutes. I really don't know how I'm going to do this season, you guys. Okay, well, luckily the basil is in its pot and can hang out for a little while, because I don't want to plant it with this crabgrass right here, because basil is more delicate, and I don't want to be tearing grass out of its roots later on, so I want to make sure I clear this of Bermuda grass before I plant it. So I guess that's what we'll do tomorrow. But here's the marigolds and basil, and so I'll just put those in the shade and we'll get those planted tomorrow. They've been watered. They should be fine in their containers for a little bit. Okay, and before I go today, I'm gonna show you guys the watering in. So I just have my little sprinkler here, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of water to help the dirt settle. Okay, next. And then the last one. I wanted to make sure I got these planted kind of earlier this morning. It's already been getting pretty hot here during the day, and yesterday the peppers were transplanted in the hot afternoon, and I felt bad for them, so I wanted to try to not do that to these guys as well. Okay, give these a little more water since they're gonna be in their pots during the hot today. These are still pretty wet though. I guess standing them upright would help. There we go. And then before I go, I wanted to show you guys one final thing with the peppers that were planted yesterday. There they are. They look nice. Family did a good job on them. And so what I'm going to be doing at some point later, see these little flower buds? I'm going to be going through and pinching those off so that their energy can go into making roots instead of trying to make fruit right now. All right, well, see you guys next time. Okay, just kidding. There's one last thing to show you. So I got this calendar, and I am going to use it to track my planting. And so, ooh, January's bird is pretty. I didn't get to see these earlier ones because I wasn't on schedule. All right, so we got little goslings, or not goslings, ducklings for April. They're cute. All right, and so today is here, and so this was Tom's planted from starts, and so that reminds me that I didn't plant the seeds for those. And then Pepper's planted from starts. Marigolds too. Yellow marigold. Wait, what? Yes, yellow marigolds. And Pepper is planted from the starts. There we go. And so I'm going to try to be keeping track as I plant stuff. All right. Now, I'll go. See you guys next time.